Thanks, Julian. Really appreciate you taking the time to have a chat today. But first, if you could probably just introduce yourself and the role that you play at PwC.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. So I'm Julian Bruce Miller. I'm a director in our cybersecurity practice here at PwC New Zealand, and I look after what we call cyber threat operations. So that's everything from incident response, ethical hacking, threat intelligence, and also our managed services and managed detect and response service.
Awesome. So Palo Networks and PwC is sort of announcing a brand new partnership using the technology from PwC. But if you could probably just share with me a little bit more information about what is that actual sort of managed detect and response service that you're sort of announcing?
Yeah, so I guess at its very basic, we call it managed cyber defense. It's a managed SOC service or a managed detect and respond service. What we're looking to do is help our clients detect and ultimately prevent major cyber attacks. Things like major ransomware attacks, like we've seen at Waikato DHB in the last few weeks. That's sort of what we're here to do, is really solve those hard problems around a sophisticated cyber attack.
Okay. And in terms of the service itself, it's a 24/7 service. Initially, I believe it started off in the UK, but really was bred, so to speak, in New Zealand. So tell me a little bit more about sort of the genesis of it. How did it actually sort of really start?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you say, the genesis of it was in the UK. We came on later in New Zealand, and that was really driven out of the need in the UK to have a 24/7 analyst team, but not wanting to run overnight in the UK and have the issues with running a 24-hour team essentially. So they brought New Zealand on board to run and the way we run is we do 12 hours in New Zealand during the day in New Zealand time, and then we switch over to the UK and they do the other 12 hours of the day.
Brilliant. Okay. So in terms of the organisation, sort of the makeup of those organisations, what's the actual, let's just call it the starting size that you typically would look for to offer this service to?
Yeah, it really varies, but the smallest we've currently got sort of the 300 to 400 users, and the largest would be tens of thousands. So there's quite a wide range, and it's a very scalable service.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of an organisation, obviously you talked about sort of ransomware being one of the threats. No doubt one of the many threats that you sort of look for. In terms of sort of a customer trying to work out how applicable is a service like this, should I actually go to an organisation like PwC to offer this? What other things would I really be thinking about in terms of what other problems am I trying to solve by coming to an organisation like PwC for this particular service?
Yeah, I think what an organisation needs to ask themselves is do they need to protect themselves against sophisticated ransomware attacks? We know those are on the rise, and if they do, how are they going to do that? For some organisations, that will be do it in-house and build their own security operations centre. The challenge with that, especially in New Zealand, is we think you need around 20 people to do it properly, to run 24/7, to allow for sickness, leave, training. And that's obviously significant cost in terms of finding people, training people, but also given it's a very tight labour market, the borders are currently essentially closed, then where are you going to find those people? And actually then you need to ask yourself, well, would I be better outsourcing this, given that the time and cost and difficulty in building it myself is going to be pretty high?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, even globally as well, sort of that service being sort of rolled out as a global offering as well. I don't think sort of the border shuts we're probably experiencing here in Australia and New Zealand, probably the same challenges are going to apply in terms of just finding skills or qualified skilled people that are actually out there as well. So in terms of the going out to market and really sort of looking at the solution stack from Palo Networks in order to really sort of help you achieve and deliver the service, what was some of the foundational requirements you actually had out there? Why did you actually choose Palo Networks in the end?
Yeah, so I guess if we go back a little bit as to the genesis of the service and why we needed to do this at all, we've very much come from an incident response background, not a traditional sort of managed service provider, infrastructure provider. And some of the things we saw when we were doing incident response, we really wanted to apply and say, well, actually, how could we do this better? And typically the things that we wanted doing incident response was endpoint data, what happened on that endpoint. It's all very well having what happened on the network, but ultimately you want to go back to the source and say, okay, this is what played out. And as our incident response services evolved, we started having clients on retainer, and that helped with being there when they needed us, taking some of the sort of slow to set up commercial stuff out of the way. and doing some of the preparedness, so making sure that clients were ready, looking at playbooks, all that sort of thing. But all of that is very much sort of ambulance at the bottom of the cliff stuff.
Yep.
Really what we wanted to do was, we don't want to be responding to incidents, we want to be preventing them. And that's where we started down the path of an MDR service. And really how we came to Palo Alto Networks was, as you can imagine, we went out to a wide range of providers and we did a bit of a market scan. We did that based on functional and non-functional requirements that we had built.
Awesome. So from a comfort standpoint, the customer's got, or an organisation perspective, customers actually got the assurance that you're working with a reputable brand, being obviously PwC. You're actually skilled in incident response. You've got the skill set, the know-how in terms of actually trying to work out how do I find adversaries inside my own organisation. They've got comfort at the fact that they're using technology from a security efficacy standpoint that's actually been tried and tested independently through the Attack Miner framework, and that's actually come up trumps 3 times in a row now. So it gives them sort of that assurance that, hey, this is actually a reputable service, at the same time also sort of reputable technology as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we wanted to do was take best of breed technology, which we've got through Palo Alto, but then apply everything that PwC brings. So we conduct thousands of pen tests, red teams, we have a big threat intelligence team, thousands of incident response hours every year. How do we take the learnings from all of that and a big team of experts and combine that with best of breed technology and turn it into a fully managed service? So you're not just getting the technology, but you're also getting the expertise and the people that PwC bring, and really wrapping some process and some smarts around it with AI and automation.
Perfect. All right. Well, look, thank you very much. Really appreciate the time today. At the same time, thank you very much. I look forward to, I guess, an extended partnership with PwC as well. Thanks, Julian.
Thanks, Sean.
Take care.